Back there.
Sure, but no, I'm a tester now. You can.
Yeah, I
Sure.
did
Oh,
this
sure,
one. Yeah.
Lady Million.
He wants Vaseline.
It's us. Like, try this one. I know I am. I visit a lab once in a while and I.
Yeah.
I smell them almost every day, so yeah.
Give
it's
Petros.
bad.
Yeah.
I was there again.
No, it's testers.
Manje la kunemali, uma ngigobisela ngizoba nemali. Kunemali la. Ngigobise nale mali.
Are they nice?
Sure. No problem. Then I have these smaller ones. This is 60 bucks. 6 and 200.
Display the book. Yeah, like this.
So some guys, mina ngicela ukukhuluma when you're ready. Ungithanda ngempandla or ngiphephisi?
Anything is fine.
Yeah. Or some.
Is it fine? And then the perfume also. Hi, when kabang.
Sure. Sure, I'm ready. You fine with me? Cap, Agnai Tunzi. Awesome. When you're happy, I'm okay.
Am I fine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready?
Wait. Let me just calm down. Because I'm too excited.
Say my.
Okay.
Be happy and say happy with you.
Is it on?
Let's give you a countdown.
You must tell me if it goes on.
It's recording. I'll give you a countdown.
Okay, record again. What up, everyone? Welcome back to Exposure Hour podcast. And I am your host, Godessa, with my crew backstage, Carter SA, you know what's up, boo 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 boo, and Flizer the deity, the cameraman. Carter SA is the producer, and my social media brand, Lebu M, ne? Lebu M. Okay, so today is going to be the beginning of a new environment. We're going to talk about a whole lot of spiritual self-love and how to even like go about your journey when it comes to self-love. And we have Petros Koza here with us. He's from Davidson. He is an author. He has a business. He's entrepreneurship. And like, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Like, I'm actually honored to have you here. I heard a lot about you. You also are a pastor, right?
Yeah.
Like, I also hear speculations about pastor, spirituality, and religious. Are you religious or spiritual?
Well, I think that's a tough one. All I can say is I'm a Christian man.
Yeah.
Yeah, born again, blood washed, saved. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. So where are you from exactly?
Ngintwana Sekasi, Davidson, 1520.
Okay.
Duka, sure.
I'm from Davidson myself. I have I know it's hard to believe. I speak English, I know, but my mom is actually Mswati.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, straight from Swaziland, Eswatini. My
Sure.
grandmother, my great grandmother, Udlamini, and then we inherited Ungwenya.
Okay.
So we originally from Swaziland, and yeah, we moved to Davidson. Like we're from Davidson.
Sure,
Like I was
sure,
born in
sure.
Davidson. I grew up in Davidson. Even though I was lighter than I am right now, I was a white baby. They used to tease me, but it's fine. Your book. Tell me about the journey of your book, Learning to Love Myself Through Tears. What does it mean? What actually made you come about this book?
You know, writing on its own, it's something else, you know?
Yeah.
But me writing the book, it took me 5 years to finish the book.
5 years?
Because I've been writing and deleting.
I can imagine even the fragrance, Matsonga Machangana.
Yeah, but let's talk about the book.
Okay.
The book, it's a self-healing book.
A self-healing
it's a
book,
therapeutic book.
Okay.
One, the title, Learning to Love Myself Through Tears. Why I wrote this title? It is because I've realized that most of the pain that personally I went through, I was not accountable of. Have you ever had something that you're not accountable of? It means you can't deal with it, you can't handle it.
Yeah.
So most of the pain that I went through, I was not accountable of. And some of the pain was not done by me, it was done by the next person.
By the next person.
Young tall, sharp. And explaining a bit, growing up, I was once a street kid. I lived in the streets.
Which streets? At Davidson?
I lived in Davidson in the streets. I lived in Benoni.
In Benoni even?
Yeah. So Magdalena Machida was Skoila. There was a
and look at you now.
See, God is great. So I'm putting there to things that happened in my childhood. They were so painful. They were so challenging.
So in terms of challenging, what do you mean? Like you didn't have a mother?
Sure. That's a good one.
You didn't have a mother?
I still have a mother.
You still have a mother?
Yes. I had a mother. And ngisenaye futhi. So growing up, you know, as you grow as umntwana kufika isikhathi sokuganga. You know, so I started being lo mntana ongezwa and mama mbekashaya, you know. So
so you were a troublesome child.
So when she beat me, I would leave home. But at some point, my mother was a bit harsh, you know, she was very strict. And at some point, I felt she was unreasonable based on how she raised me, you know. So I would find comfort in the streets more than home. So the streets became more comfortable for me more than home was. So I left home, I went to live in the streets, and I changed houses from this house to that, from that to that. I ended up finding myself in the streets, you know. So my childhood was very traumatic. I grew up in a family where Aguna Babekaya, I don't know who my father is. No one from my maternal family can identify my father. So as a teenage boy, I wanted to know who's my father, you know. So all those kind of things that happened in my life, they brought pain. But listen, all this pain that was happening, I had no power and control over.
Definitely.
I cannot go and say, now I want my father, now I need this. My mother should be this kind of a person, you know. All the pain that was inflicted in my life, it should be changed. But the only thing I was supposed to have done then was to take a decision to say, I am not this. You know, well, I have white genes in me. So growing up, go Davidson, Sutu section, at school I was different.
That's actually true. Like Nami, they also thought Nami Ngisutu or something because I was also different. Like you're part of community in Davidson.
So you know, everyone had something to say about me.
Exactly.
You know, to this day, when I still go into a taxi, someone would say, "Hey, my friend," you know, and we try to respond in IsiZulu. They would laugh and say, "La tela lendiam." You know, little kids they call me umlungu and all of that. So in the book, I talk about Ugutim. You are not what people say.
Definitely.
You know, someone might just drive rough and hit you, break your leg. You are not, you know, someone can just rape you now. Someone can just break into your house and take your things. You are not all that is done and said to you. You are who you decide.
Yeah.
So in the book, I talk about the power of decision. And I also talk about the renewal of the mind, that your mind must be renewed. If you keep your mind on things that happen, you know what to do. When you focus on your problems, you are magnifying them. You know, if you're going to focus with
definitely
you are magnifying
you're making it worse. Yes,
come up with solutions, plant a garden, you know, have something, go see, like so I'm talking about that, you know, emancipation of the mind and decision making. And I talk about the art of learning to do things your own. You know, because we know
definitely
if you want something,
Yes.
If you want something to be done,
you
DIY.
must definitely.
Bingo. So in the book, I talk about that.
Okay, so before I forget, Mina, as a person also that doesn't know her biological father also. My biological father, I know he's white.
Okay.
I know how he looks, but my mom doesn't want me to actually, like, he doesn't want anything to do with him. Even now, like, I'm at a stage where there's a possibility where I actually do want to meet my biological father. So what would you actually like say for someone like me, as young as I am, without a father, knowing that you also don't know your father? How did you go about those obstacles of accepting that, okay, you know what, I don't need my biological father, or I don't need to know? Or were you curious to know, even now at the age you're in? How do you simply advise someone like me, like, about that situation?
You see, empilweni, there's no one who will offer you a better advice, you know, more than what you have decided. If I decide ngifuna manzi manje, you offer me tea, I'll take it, but ngifuna manzi, you know.
Okay.
So there will be no one who will answer you to the core where you are satisfied. But let me tell you this, it is, what I want to say is that the Bible says umhlaba, the world and its fullness, nokugcwaliseka kwawo, nabantu abakhile ezweni, those who have built on the land, they all belong to God.
Definitely.
Sure.
Definitely.
So uNkulunkulu, when in the book of Jeremiah, God said to Jeremiah, I knew you before you were formed.
Yeah.
So if he knew you before you were formed, it's like umuntu designed the speaker list before us designer unase engqondweni bese uyasakha and uyazi ukuthi siyokhala kanjani, siyowenzani kanjani. So before God had the concept of you, he knew what's going to happen in your life till the end. Remember, he is the Alpha and the Omega.
Omega, yes.
Sure. So God knew you before you were formed. So nothing that is happening in your life today that surprises God about you. God knew you were going to grow up without a father. God knew Gucci, there was that guy. God knew all that. But you know what he has done? He has protected you from birth until to your destiny and until you go back to him. But engakusho emntwini ongamazi ubaba okanye uma wakhe manje, it's to say you are not that. You didn't decide that.
You didn't decide it, definitely.
My mother and my father, they had good times, you know, and one of them conceived, which was my mother. And after my mother conceived, they decided to, you know, go separate ways.
Go separate ways.
I was never there.
I was never
there. I don't know their reasons. And ask me, now as a matured man, I'm no longer interested in that drama because I know there's too much drama in those departments, you know.
Exactly. Like, there's always drama. Like when you find out that, okay, your biological dad is not around.
Yeah.
Even Ulebu has her own situation where she doesn't know her biological father, and she came to a point where she also was close to meeting her father, and he passed away. So now she's connecting, at least she's connecting with the family.
Okay.
And with me, it's completely different because I don't even think they really want to meet me, but at the same time, there's a possibility that they do. So that's actually gonna give me a lot to think about.
Maybe let me just finish what I was driving. The point I was driving across is to say, for the fact ukuthi awumazi ubabakho, if bowudinga ubabakho ukuthi uphile, you would have died the day he left. If you needed your mother ukuze uphile, you would have died the day your mother left you in hospital, or the day your father said to your mother, it's over. You would have died.
Yeah.
So for the fact that God kept you to this very moment, then it means you can survive without them. I'm not saying deny yourself the opportunity to know them.
Yes.
But I'm trying to say, don't beat yourself
up
hard to the level yokuthi ufile ngathi okuhle ngaba kwenzakalanga ngami. Uyangithola. One. Secondly, wonke umuntu uyamdinga umzali. But uNkulunkulu unendlela yokuthi uma ngabe umzali akazange abe khona, kube nomuntu ozomthanda wena ubukele kuyena. Remember, the reason why we have ama role models, these are people who at some point replace a certain part that ekhaya yikho.
Yeah.
I know, growing up, I used to look up to Zola, Dube. These were my role models. Actually, growing up, I wanted to be Zola 7. that I wanted to be Zola 7 with all in me, number one.
Really?
And I had dreadlocks. They were this long. I had dreadlocks.
Really?
Because of Lucky Dube. People don't know that. I love that guy to the core. I sang every song he sang. Did you remember me? Abu Prisoner. I would even buy camouflage, walk like they do.
Are you serious?
I'm for real.
Guys, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Zola 7, like quite or even.
Sure. I'm still a quite a kid.
You still a quite
No, I'm not Mjida. I don't take me for. No, I grew up in the ghetto. Sure, we've done everything done in us, you know.
So you're free, like you the kind of person that is free spirited.
A very free spirited, very.
Yeah.
This is life, you know. You are not here to solve problems. This life was here before you.
Yeah.
You are meant to survive. So learn the art of survival. You will live longer. But if you want to solve life, you will be a politician.
Okay. So would you say that you were a political person or a spiritual person or an activist or liberation person?
I think put me in the class of activist, you know.
Activist.
Sure.
I knew it. I actually knew it. Didn't I say? I knew it. Because I even saw like your videos on YouTube and TikTok. Like I must say, you make a person think about themselves.
Big time. That's
you
me.
Actually make a person like I could even tell my mom like, okay, this guy, he's from Davidson. Like there's a lot of successful people that's coming from Davidson. And my mom even was at friends with what's that Boom Shaka Lebu Matosa. She was actually friends with Lebu Matosa, and there comes a lot when it comes to being famous, especially in that industry and stuff. So I feel like I told myself, especially when I started modeling and doing radio and stuff, I'm not going to involve myself in that industry. I'm going to walk with God. And I'm going to, even if I have to start from the bottom and uplift even this amazing podcast, which everyone loves me, by the way. I told myself that I'm going to choose the right direction. And this book, I must say, it actually, I wish I could actually like read it, have time to
maybe
read
let's because we here, let's just give people about the book.
Yeah.
You know, this is about the book. I'm gonna say everything written here. I'm not gonna say something that's not here. So it says, if we can make right decisions, 80% of the world's problem could be solved and avoided. You know, it doesn't matter who you are and how much informed you are. We all have made a wrong decision and it has costed you. In this book, the author talks about decisions that you have no control over and they affect you. Also, he talks about the power you have to use what is used against you to work for you. Everything in life rests on decision making. After all, it is said and done against you. Someone raped you, someone drove drunk and killed your parents in a car accident. Baby daddy rejected you, hubby left you for a younger woman. Mama didn't prefer you, but your younger sister. You are living with a chronic illness because someone didn't want to be responsible. All this was someone's decision and it hurts you daily. Each time it crosses your mind, it cuts deep and the wound bleeds afresh. This book is for you to remind you that through it all, you can rise up and take charge of your life because His grace is sufficient enough for us all. May God heal you as you read.
Amen.
So I talk about that, Tukuti. It doesn't matter what happened in Mpana. It doesn't matter who left you. It doesn't matter who says what. You are what you decide. The Bible in the book of Proverbs say, as a man thinks, so is him.
Especially from where you come from, like growing up in the streets and stuff, it says a lot about you. You have a lot to say. At least you even managed to put it out there. So do you have a church?
Well, currently in Sapmitile, in Revival Impact World Family Church, under Apostle J.W. Kunene. He's my faith, is my father in the faith. He's the one who ordained me. Besides the ordination, I've also went to school. Yeah, I studied. I have a diploma in theology.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long did it take?
4 years.
4 years
to do my diploma in theology.
Wow, you're even dripping with the cross there. Also,
Tada,
you even dressed. Hey, you were ready for today, ne?
Listen. This life no balance. Let me tell you, this life no balance. One thing that I share with everyone where I go, ukuthi ithuba lempilo. Linikwa bonke abantu abanethuba lokwenza impilo bengcono.
Yeah.
The fact that you are here today,
yeah,
it means God has trusted you with something
with
new
something
that must
new.
happen. Young Tol, enjoy this moment.
Definitely.
You know, I know you have a dream maybe to become like Oprah or to become like whoever that you desire.
Yeah.
It starts now.
I
will not
I have
be
a dream to become myself.
Yeah, you don't become when you get there. You
Yeah.
become now.
Now.
If I leave now and say near Mauritius, Mauritius doesn't begin when I get to Mauritius. It begins when I take my keys and lock the house. I'm in Mauritius already.
Definitely.
But in 11 in
It's
Zola,
between yourself.
let me tell you, 11 already my mind was here. Already I was waiting for the car, you know. And the man looking at all, so in short, you say enjoy every stage of your life.
Okay.
Impilo will never rob you. You see, every season lasts for 3 months. Ne? So because of a season lasts for 3 months, a season yakisiphe 2 months and 15 days. A season always give us 3 months fully. So kotola for 3 months fully. Sizoba ne-dust for 3 months fully. Sizoba ne-summer 3 months fully. Sizoba nemvula. Ingako masiba nemvula winter siya. And then what's happening? So enjoy every season of your life. So this moment, it's the best moment of my life ever. You know why? I'm here now. And if ikusasa ngizoba in another space, that will be the best moment ever of my life because ngizobe ngilapho. So enjoy every stage of your life.
That's actually good advice because that's my motive actually. Like my motivation every day I get up, I tell myself, enjoy whatever happens, happens. So the way you even speaking to me as young as I am, I wouldn't say you old, too old. Like how old are you? Are you married? Do you have kids?
Abantwana bakhona siyashada nalo mama. Darling, batshela date. Uthi nginganjeli. Everyone you guys will be invited. Ngicabanga ukuthi would be nice for my wedding to be televised here, you know. Yeah.
Definitely.
Sure, but we're planning on doing that. And I do have kids. My firstborn Lungile, she's 13. Hey Twinkie, I love you. And there's my son Junior, the most troublesome one. Troublesome.
Like father, like son.
Doshi.
Like father, like son.
You know, and my thirdborn, Ompile, I love them. They are the reason.
How old is your thirdborn?
She's 4.
She's 4.
They are the reason why I'm here today.
I also have like a daughter. She's turning 3 next month.
Awesome.
And she's very she's interesting. Like a first time mom, even it actually like I did know that I was going to have a child eventually, but I didn't think I was going to have a child as amazing as her.
Yeah.
So you didn't answer me. How old are you?
35.
You're 35?
Sure.
Wow. And you at this point,
listen,
like, okay, how old were you when you like first succeeded in everything? Like when you told yourself, okay, yeah, and you got yourself a place and you actually achieved a lot.
You see, God can do something amazing. Your life can change right now. Singatis Pumala, and you hit a jackpot and you hit, you know?
Yeah.
But all I can say is that dedication, consistency, persistency will get you what you desire. Order, self-discipline. You'll never find me anywhere. I'm not all over. You know, I am not all over because I know what I want. Ube ngabe yazi into oyifunayo uzohamba nohlobo lwabantu balento oyifunayo. If you are pregnant, you'll never go to clinic and be in a queue yabantu abolanda medication. You'll always be in a queue yabantu aba preg. If you umntana esikalini, you will be in a queue yabantu aba esikalini. So you don't get to clinic and go all over. So if you azazi ukuthi ubani uyaphi, you will always get what you desire. You know, when we speak of consistency, we speak of you getting this thing and always remain consistent. Always. When we speak of persistency, will get you the thing, but consistency will keep the thing. So a lot of us, we are persistent.
Definitely.
Then once we get it, we relax. No. There's maintenance. Everything has maintenance. Definitely. You have to maintain this. You know, I have to maintain what I have now, and maintaining it is growing into it.
Yes.
When I went into media, I never thought I'm gonna write a book. But in the media space, I find myself writing because of my first love is writing.
Okay.
You know, and I went on stage. I did theater work. Was a performer for the longest time. I've done extras in all these soaps you see. back in 2008, 9, 10. I was on Generations. The Generations, not the Legacy, Generations.
Yeah.
I was with them. Last year I did a feature film with Skidla Skidlava Films. I was playing a lead role along Sibongile Phakathi, you know, and I've done a few adverts, and I've been around. I've done a few voiceovers, you know, and it's hustle, you know. This gets you to that, and that takes you there.
Definitely.
You know, then my book came. I'm working on my second book. The perfume came, and started a water brand last year. It failed, you know. So there's a lot of things that have failed that people don't know. People think because of they see this, but no. There's things that have failed. I've had my own shoe that didn't hit. There's a lot of things that I love chains. I've tried a chain, it didn't work. I've tried a watch, it didn't work. There's a lot
I can
of things.
see the drip, Val.
There's a lot of things I've started, honey. They didn't work out, and I still trust God. They will hit one day, you know. And it's a matter of working every day. When I wake up, first thing first, my laptop, my phone, I see it, I check what's happening online. You know, today I was just seeing how you can rent an ATM, and I was thinking already, Flip, where can I get my own space where I can rent an ATM? So I study biographies of different people.
Okay.
You know, that's what inspires me more than any other thing, you know.
Okay, so you also a life coach, you can say.
Sure.
And there was a video where I also saw, like, where they ask you, what's the, like, are you religious or spiritual?
Sure.
And I want to know, like, what's the difference and what do you prefer? Besides what you've said, like through walking through God, you go through every day with God, yes. But there's also, like, you know, people like the Holy Spirit, even your ancestors guiding you out there through God.
Sure.
So what exactly would you say about that?
Listen, spirituality doesn't have a blueprint.
Yeah.
Ne? And religion doesn't have a blueprint. And if you get arrested today for something, more figure court, they want evidence.
Yeah, definitely.
And when there's evidence, they will also need a witness. So I wouldn't say I'm spiritual. I wouldn't say I'm religious. I would say I'm a Christian. Why? Because of there's a Bible that I live with and according.
Okay.
So if into ayibhalwanga ndawo ayikho indlela yokuyikhomba ukuthi nayila, you know. So into engena evidence ingozi. Ngoba umuntu noma ngabe umbulela omunye umuntu, if ubufakazi bakhona bukho, therefore leyo nto ayikho. So yonke into ihamba ngobufakazi. Ingakho kwathina ekasi sinesibhilivana ngithi ipasa ngithi wajobuso. You have that, right?
Definitely.
Ama cell phones wethu now they smart, they can even read your face, amanye through a retina, amanye a thumb, you know. But it's to say I'm a Christian. I love God of the Bible. Through the Bible. So if there's any other God who's not rotating around the Bible, to me, he doesn't exist. Okay. The only one that exists is one of the Bible, because of it tells me what to do and what not. And if I follow this manual, I get life right. Okay. Sure.
That's actually, yeah. Because even like myself, I would even give myself time and tell myself, okay, in the next 5 years, I'm going to do this. In the next 10 years, I'm going to be like this. Like, it's in me. Like, people, we come from Davidson, and most people coming from Davidson, even my mom, she worked hard. She like left home at 17 because her mother was a drunkard. You know, there's always something at Davidson. Sure. So she taught me, like, persistency. Even while I was staying in Davidson, like the things we used to do as kids, making a plan to buy sweets and stuff. Sure. So how is your relationship with your mom right now? Like, do you actually ever think like, okay, my mom was actually trying to look out for the best for me? Or maybe it's because my father wasn't around, and because my mom had postpartum depression.
Okay.
She told me that, like, yeah, when I was raising you alone, even though it takes a village to raise a child, but I did my best for you. At the same time, like, there were times where she would even tell me she thought of throwing me in the wall every time I cried, because I was a colic baby. Okay. And I would cry every night, but during the day I'm sleeping. So she had problems with sleep and stuff. Sometimes she would even like work through night shift and stuff just to feed me. So would you say that your mom was actually looking out for you? Or
Listen, I think some of these things, they can only be answered better with experience. I'm a father now. I have kids. I remember my first pay on Generations as an extra was $90. And I had to buy my pampers for Ulungile. You know? And ngihambe ekuseni endlini sakhwela isitimela ke bekisene you know, it was years back. We took a train ngehle park 6 o'clock ngise park stage. I had to walk from a park to Auckland Park. We did that in Amajita, and we shot and came back now in Run, and I had to buy money piece from Danam. It was hard because this was my hard-earned money. I wanted to enjoy it, but I couldn't enjoy it.
But you couldn't, yes.
I had to look after my baby. So with that experience now, if I were to look back into my mother, I would say I don't know what she went through because I was a kid. I didn't see imizamo yakhe, you know? I didn't see imizamo yakhe. I mean, all I saw is what was on the table. But I don't know what she went through for her to get that.
Yeah.
So that woman did the best she can.
Definitely.
Mhlambe kunamanyala enzekile angazi. You know, mhlambe kuna whatever enzekile angiyazi. To this day, I'm a superhero to my kids because I get them everything they want. One time I was fighting a client over the phone because this client was not paying and I needed money for rent and other things. So siyalwe phone nalo yabona manje ngiyisela ushukela and all of that. And my daughter was listening, you know. I was like, "Dad, akafuna ukubhadala." I'm like, "How did you find out?" Like that was wrong. You didn't have to hear that, you know. And from that day, iview kalungile nami yashintsha because I think she started noticing ukuthi udaddy fights for us to have food.
Yeah.
You know, to a degree, when I go to a gig, when I come back, she would say, "Bakbhatel." And that was now traumatizing. She doesn't have to think that. Lungile must know ukuthi babuyahola. I would go to a gig, bang badalanga, I would make means bang figure I have something so that they feel ukuthi ubaba uholile. You know, so in short is to say, my mother did the best. For the fact there was food. Now I know how food comes into the house.
Exactly.
So she did the best.
Yeah, she actually raised a great son, actually.
Yeah.
You've done great for yourself.
Amen.
Where exactly, like, do you stay Exco?
I grew up in Gabon.
Yeah.
Stayed in Basutum. And later on we went to Krisani, extension 1. We moved to Gabon squatter camp.
Yeah.
From a Gabon we went to Cloverdale. Yeah, so now I'm based at Cloverdale.
So you just moved around the area.
Actually, Ekasi, yeah. I think my
and you
footprints,
see a lot there, hey?
Man, I think Davidson is one of the most beautiful townships ever. I know someone might have a different mind, but let me tell you, Davidson is the perfect model of apartheid. It's the first township that when it started, it has everything.
Definitely. We
Water.
even have McDonald's now, guys.
Lalela.
Like who even like they're not even hesitating to fix the mall.
So Davidson is and obvious times are changing. If you would ask umuntu ofike Davidson in the early 90s, they'll give you a different story.
Yeah, definitely. Like,
you know, so times are changing, but Davidson is still the most beautiful kasi. It was the most cleanest kasi in South Africa and in Africa as a whole. We are part of Ekurhuleni. Ekurhuleni is the richest municipality in Africa. Not in South Africa, but in Africa. In Ekurhuleni, we are the one who have the cleanest water in Africa as a whole. You know, Ekurhuleni, not even Johannesburg, not even Tshwane, where the capital city of the country. No. I'm talking about Ekurhuleni. So we are part of that. So I wish everyone in Davidson and I wish everyone in Ekurhuleni can take care of that opportunity.
Of that, yes.
We are the first one to have access to electricity and running water and a flushing toilet. The first black people in South Africa to see a flushing toilet in their yard are people from Davidson. You know, 70 years ago.
Having 2 toilets even in the house and outside, guys.
Exactly.
For the rooms even outside.
So we are blessed. So Davidson is the most beautiful castle with beautiful history. Almost everyone can think of these great icons. They've once lived in Davidson.
And the best food there. We like, even like a friend of mine from Davidson, she would even say, or he would even say, Davidson is New York. Like even the better kind of New York, not those ratchet.
We have DKNY.
DKNY.
Phela siphathu basiwa karona. Into esiphathu sizwa ngana kusiziphathu lesikota man. Sure.
Yeah, definitely. Like we put ourselves out there in the market.
We the best.
Soccer also, even like females soccer.
Banyana,
yeah.
Yeah. Davidson is the cream of I usually say South Africa is made in Davidson. Go argue with yourself. I'm done.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like I
Sure.
keep telling people that, okay, but they wouldn't even believe me though. Like when I say I'm from Davidson. I was born in Davidson, like Springs, the hospital in Springs. I even forgot. Like I came to Davidson after I was born even. So Davidson Valley, it's like my roots.
Sure.
And I'm proud of it.
Sure.
So this book, would you say that if you were to put it out there as an activist, would you say that it would actually teach people, or would you say it would guide people, or would you say that it would actually like control their ideas of how they're going to live their life?
I think it's an all-in-one book, you know. It's a toolkit for personal development and life coaching. You know, so there's this thing of perception and perspective.
Okay.
So I always say perspective is everything. How you view something, it's how you're gonna receive it. You know.
Okay.
So in this book, there's a law that one can learn. One of the things esihlangabezana nayo lokishini or as a band as a whole, it's anger issues.
Okay, I can.
We all have anger issues from our relatives, you know. Gamamkulu asi because
it can be genetic.
Yeah,
it
you
can
understand.
be personal.
So
it can,
we're struggling from that, and we are struggling from decision making. Let me tell you, the reason why you are where you are now, now, not where you desire to be, it's a decision. Make a right decision, you'll get where you want to be. You know, make a right decision. I think you and I know where we are struggling. I know where I'm struggling from, and it's just I'm scared to make a right decision. Not that I'm scared to make a right decision. I do want to make a right decision. I'm scared of what might happen if it doesn't hit. So in the book, I talk about that, you know, the what if syndrome. A lot of ideas, they died because of what if it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
What if it doesn't? When I started David on TV, there were a lot of voices in my head. What if it doesn't happen? Coming from it, I didn't even own a personal camera. I had a PC, and the vision was strong. I'm not even good with graphics. I just took my publisher, I wrote David on TV. Angahlanganisa ama triangle, I two. They were red in color. David on TV was written in blue. I put on my WhatsApp. People started laughing at me, you know. And little did I know that today, where I am, I've interviewed almost everyone you can think of. You know, I've been to different spaces. I've covered serious awards. I've traveled. I've crossed the country because of David on TV. And in as much as David on TV is not paying me, but people, they support my book because of they know David on TV.
Yeah.
People buy the perfume because of either my perfume or out just at David on TV.
Yeah.
I sell laptops, second-hand gadgets. People buy because of they trust the brand.
Yeah.
So the credibility of the brand is the one that is feeding me, but not the brand itself.
Okay.
Young tall. So what if has killed a lot of people. So I talk about that in this book, Uguti. If you can cancel the what if and do it regardless, you know, you will make it. You know, so I talk about decision making, and I also talk about issues regarding self-confidence in the book.
Okay.
And I also touch base on learning by doing. When I bought my first car, I bought a second-hand car. I couldn't drive, so I bought a car. Listen, this is crazy. You'll love this. So I bought a car in Amal. Well, I'm a good negotiator. Trust me. No one says no to me. Honey knows if she gives me 3 minutes to explain, it's done. It doesn't matter what I've done. If you give me 3 minutes, what? 5 seconds, I'm done. So I bought my first car in Anamali. 1, 2, so I bought my first car over the phone. Ngingenamali, imile, mechanic wayilungisa, ngambadalanga. So now I have a car in my yard. And what next? Angikwazi to drive. So I have to teach myself how to drive.
You also don't have a license?
Angina license, angikwazi to drive. And this thing, it frustrates me because the gears. So I asked my brother-in-law, he came, he showed me, no, cause start, you must know, we carry.
Driving is not for everyone.
You know, really. Okay, Sahamba, it was his birthday. The following day, I took the car and don't ask me what happened. I was driving with yellow lane, being humble 40, 1 gear, the whole day.
Oh my word.
Sure. Baba, ngiyahamba, angidlali. Mangifika, not Tembisa per se, but Jige Bridel. Mangifike eBridel ngabona ku-safe ukuthi ngishaye u-10 ngabuya.
And we have hijacks.
Lalela. Those things will come after. Let me tell you my story. This is my story. I came back, ngapaka imoto. I was so nervous. Mangifike endlini like yabo uleft wami bekashika so. Bekumele ngishaye i-clash. Ngashisa i-clash plate. And what happened? But why I got to that story, it's in the book. Ukuthi most of the things you need to learn by doing.
Definitely, yeah.
Ngishise i-clash plating. Kuningi ngumoshile, but today I can drive.
Yeah.
You know that today I can drive, you know, and the clash plate say create manje ngine moto. So I had to learn by doing. And learning by doing, you'll make a few mistakes.
Definitely.
Some of these mistakes will cost you because buying a clash plate, a City Golf, well, it is the cheapest. It's 1.5. It is the cheapest. You know, I'm a clash plate at Shall clash kit yonke, you know, yeah, buying a clash kit is expensive, you know, so I had to spend an extra 1.5 because of a mistake I did.
Yeah.
But lalela, I've done it, and here am I now. And mangitshela omunye umuntu nge-issue ye-clash plate ne-clash, I have something solid because I have the experience. So everything when I do, you learn by doing. And if you learn by doing, you become a master because of you know exactly how it felt and how to do it right. So to everyone out there, any idea you have, it will never fail. You may fail, but the idea will never fail. So choose.
Even if you fail, like you can, like, guys, even if you fail, you are well known for your failures.
Sure.
And it might come about like where it actually can take you to a success.
And let me just hold this one. Probably you guys will like it, I don't know. You know, there's the, you know, Viagra.
Okay, yes, I do.
Oh, wapega pants. Yeah, we gang. So the guy who created Viagra, they were.
You don't know what Viagra is?
Okay, cool. We'll talk about some other day. It's just me. Let me just get this one done. When they created Viagra, they were not creating Viagra. They were in a lab and they were trying to formulate a medication for the angina in the heart. People who have a heart failure.
Yeah.
Know? So while they were doing that, I don't know what is it that they mixed more than what. Then they gave to patients.
Yeah.
Who were struggling from, you know, the angina especially.
Yeah.
And when they came back in the following morning, flip. It was upside down, you know?
Yep.
In the ward. Then
from people came out with boners.
Young talk. So they discovered, okay, so when you mix this is what comes. It was at a cost, but today Viagra is the most selling pill.
Yes.
You know, in the pharmaceutical industry.
Especially for old men.
So you see, sometimes your mistake can be something else. You know, Ama Kellogg's, they were not designing Kellogg's, they were doing something else, came Kellogg's, you know. So it's a mistake, but it's a beautiful mistake.
It's a beautiful mistake.
Ama Stickers notes, they were not doing that. They came out of like a mistake. Yeah? So there's a lot of things that are happening. Your penicillin didn't come as penicillin. You know, they were doing something else and they discovered Dr. Magaishia in a petri dish. Magabuya, it has killed all the bacteria that was in there. They're like, okay, we can use this. They started. So most of these things, they happen mistakenly.
Yeah,
you know,
but
they worked for better.
They work for the better.
So chances are your mistake can be something that will teach you something beautiful.
And never give up.
Sure.
Never give up. Even no matter how tired, Nami, no matter how tired I can be myself, I push myself to the limit, especially because I'm a mother.
Sure.
I have to make sure I push myself to the limit.
Sure.
So, talking about filming, like, where did you come across that? Did you also, like, have an interest in filming? At school, did you do filming? What school did you go to?
I went to Hulwazi Secondary School.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there like activities there?
Hulwazi, there was nothing in filming.
Yeah.
And I think my love for theater performed on stage. Then I started doing extras. I saw cameras, you know.
Yeah.
But beside that, I started owning a camera at the age of 13, you know, at school. I had a Kodak 35mm camera. As I tell it is called, me and my friend, we put 50-50 together, $100, went to buy our first cam. It is called, and it was a film, you know, not these ones. When you shoot, you know, you must roll the film. And the distance, there was no lens. So, and, you know, we did that. And yeah, later on, I found myself in a set. I enjoyed the set. I met a friend, brother, who was running a film school. He took me in to go teach performing arts, you know. When I got there, I met his friend who became my friend later on, Uchefu Nkuna. Currently is the director for him. He's the first assistant director for the Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the Queen fan, so I know.
He's from Davidton.
Yes.
Uhlale Springs. I think he relocated to Soweto not so long ago.
Yeah.
And I met him. He took me in as a third AD when we were doing. There's these movies, not like SABC, Routine, and FVF films.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was doing that project, they were doing 10 films. He took me in. I started by supplying them ama extra. You know, so I'd collect Kumbekasi ama extra, see, so shoot it down. And the following year, he took me in as his assistant director. And they took me to Durban. I did few films. One of them, it's Bonello. We got an award with Durban International Film Festival.
Yeah.
So I've learned most of the things I know there. Then from Lapo, you know, Espanian, you meet someone, that person takes you to this one. I've done sound, I've done, you know, camera assistant, I've done clip loader. So you learn, you know, as easy though, you don't do them per se, but you get to see, oh, so this is how it's done. Flip.
Yeah.
Okay, I love this, you know. That's how I've learned. When he contracted me, now I came back, I had my own TV show, Ekuruleni TV.
Yeah.
It was on Open View 451. I was doing a show called One on One Behind the Scene. So I was visiting film sets. If you have shot a film, you come to me, talk about your film. You know, so basically I was doing film reviews. And most of my reviewing our my students from a city varsity, you know. So I've had that opportunity, and it was by the grace of God with him. When you learn by doing, and when you learn through Msebenzi Womunye Umuntu, it means that person has paid for you to learn. When you go to school, you pay for yourself. But when someone hires you and teach you a job that you are not qualified for it, you are learning at their dime. You know, so that's how I managed to get myself into filming. Obviously, through networks, I met Tepom Ring, one of the best cinematographers we have in Ekurhuleni. He took me into the planning and foundation stage of the SABC Ekurhuleni International Film Festival. I did a documentary. We got position 45 in something like 2,000 movies that were submitted. I got position 45. That was big for me. I was a camera operator interviewing all distinguished guests. I've also interviewed Megan Gill, the editor of Tsotsi. That was beautiful. She's
Guys,
an old woman.
We have a celebrity here on my chair. Like, wow.
So I've interviewed all those kind of people, and I tell you what, it's a puzzle. You see, when you put a puzzle together, you put this one here, you don't know where the other one will come from. And we told you ulandele up until this picture comes together. Yeah.
And through, like, from your first camera at during those times, like, I'm sure you even evolved through like the technology and learning through everything. Like, I'm sure it was difficult. Like, what was the exact challenge through filming? You can't say it's this being in the stage or anything.
Well, you know, it's how you view life. There's been challenges. I must say there has been challenges. I did my first personal movie that I shot with a power shot. I think it's AS35. Just you know, we didn't know the importance of lighting, so the movie came out dark. It was titled Poor Sizwe. It was a man who adopted a child Wamkulisa. So we took my younger brother and to play Usizwe, Babaga Unati. And my brother, I think he was around about 14, 15, who made him play a role of a father in a movie. That was childish. Because of we didn't know the importance of having umuntu omdala, but we thought we were casting umuntu who would act as if umuntu omdala. So I've done those mistakes. But one of the biggest challenge was differentiating between community and commercial, and also to put the vision the way it must be done, and getting the right team. You know, that was the biggest challenge, because getting your work into the commercial space is easy. When you have the right product, you attract the right people. But then getting the right team to do the right product, that has been always the challenge. Especially in setups like this where we are all volunteering. It's a challenge, you know, because
definitely,
in as much as you love this, but if something can come up somewhere in the Malingapagat, you would opt for it, you know. But one of the biggest challenges is growing up from a casting, not having enough mentors from the same hood, you know. Yeah, having someone who's exposed enough, and at your exposure, a casting can help you win few things, because you would understand when you visit a film set, when you come back, you want to buy all the equipment they have,
the lights and everything.
But when you have someone who's experienced, they can teach you how to do everything that they are doing at an affordable price.
Yeah.
So we spend money trying to look professional instead of doing professional works. So basically it's that. But the biggest challenge also is to be noted. It's not easy. You will do everything at your cost. You will present yourself humbly so, aggressively so, and you will still not be noted.
Definitely.
Yeah.
In terms of, okay, you're also an entrepreneurship man, and your fragrance also is here also. Would you believe that I'm a financial advisor?
Oh, zahlangana into zami ke. Sengizothola advice.
Would you believe it though?
Now because you're telling me, yeah, I have to digest it and believe you.
You have to digest it and believe me.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Like I can help you like make a lot of money. Yes,
awesome.
like,
I need
money.
That. I need
like
that.
I'm still growing myself, guys. Like
sure.
It's actually an interesting story, learning about the laws and everything.
Sure.
And learning about money.
Sure.
And even myself, as I'm also making money through commission also. It's actually also making me think about, you know, if I were to also open my own business.
Sure.
Fragrance also, I was interested in it. I was also interested in makeup. Trust me, film, I'm not good at film. So when you're telling me about film, really, I know the challenges I'm gonna face is too risky. That's why I chose podcast.
Sure.
And I used to also host events, but that's fine. What would you say to someone like me when it came to your fragrance and you being as an entrepreneur? What would you say to me to motivate me to like just take a go?
I think one thing about business, we should understand that it's not about you. The biggest mistake is when I want glory for the product, you know, and this is very challenging. Everyone, when they start something, they start it for the gratification of the glory to themselves. When you start a business, it should always be a business that identifies a problem within the market.
Okay.
Then now you bring a solution. When you bring a solution, the glory doesn't have to come to you. It has to go to the product.
Definitely.
Number one. And two, you should do business to the degree that this business can happen without your attachment.
Definitely.
So we do business and we want people to see us.
Yeah.
I've done that mistake. Everywhere you talk about David on TV, the next question will be Ufu Petros. That's how I built it. I didn't know. Now I'm building a perfume brand from a good experience. This perfume, it's sold in Mpumalanga as we speak. There are people in KZN because I'm looking for distributors, you know.
How do you like, how do you know which one is different? Like, how do you name them?
There are stickers like Masaitin.
Yeah, there are stickers like the flavors, like
when we buy the bottles.
Kosa, there's Kosa here.
Yeah.
Matsonga, Machangi. This is Kosa. Ne?
Yeah. Sure.
So is it clan names?
It's a clan name.
Okay.
Okay, let me give you a brief about this. So the Matsonga Machangani fragrance it's a fragrance where I'm celebrating Shangane people. You know, in South Africa there are many tribes, but let me just mention the Shangan and the vendors are always taken advantage of.
Yeah.
It seems as if nothing beautiful can be done through them or for them, you know. So my mother is Shangan, she's from Mozambique.
Yeah.
And I wanted something that will put us in the map, celebrate our own people, you know. So I started designing clan names. Not designing, taking clan names that are existing.
And put it.
Yeah, there's nothing much of a design. These are the Shangane, you know, apparels that they use. Yeah. So just put our people, and people now they order. I have the Makubela, I have the Sitole, you know, I have the Kosa, I have the Makamu, you know. So they just order because of it's their surname. Imagine if you were to wear a perfume named after a surname.
I definitely would actually like that.
Exactly.
With the kind of smell also. Exactly. I would like. This is actually great. Like,
you know, so I'm having that, and what I'm doing now is you know, I'm a distributor. They buy from me and they make money for themselves because I give them in a stock price. they still make almost the same amount of ngayo. You know, if you buy from me $40, you sell for 80. You know, and they are making money. They're enjoying the business. So this is economic township development. Because imagine I get to earn a living and you get to earn a living. You know, so we are both earning and same amount of money. So there's no way Petro's going to be multimillionaire without you being a multimillionaire. Because the same profit you're giving me, the same profit you're making, and instead you are getting even more. I produce this and I do the labeling and everything and the time. And when I sell for $80, you get $40. I don't get the $40. I still have to take imali a manufacturing. You understand? So it's a way of saying we are designing and developing our own millionaires. You know, because this is a scent that the scent is good quality.
It is. It
well,
really
inspired
is.
by existing scents. You know, it's not like I went to design my own. I just buy what is in the shop and redesign what is existing. You know, but again, the beauty of it, we can earn a living through it. And apart from it, I was talking about business. Your business should be able to solve problems. Kunomuntu manje ofuna perfume blackout, you know, an original blackout. You can buy it maybe for, let's say, $850. I have blackout. You know, it's not the quality, but it's below this one.
Yeah.
And I'm selling it for 300 rand. So you see, one can opt for this one because I'm saving money.
Definitely.
You understand? And also it's a name that they can relate to, you know, wearing their surname or omunye uthengela umyeni wakhe or omunye uthengela umkakhe, you know. So I'm doing that. I'm also the boxes are coming very soon, and we're also doing personalized one for my birthdays, Women's Month, Father's Month, and all of that, you know. So it's to say, let us solve the problem. Someone design, someone print, someone package, I sell, you become a reseller. You see, so when you buy, you are feeding how many? Plus minus 5 families. So basically, that's what we're doing at Kasi now, and this is what I desire for the entire Africa, for us to know how can we make money. There are these big brands where banama catalog, banama catalog, they're not even making the money we are giving our own people. Because someone would sell a perfume 120 and the profit can maybe like 127 rand. I give you $40, you know. And yeah, so business is possible to every young girl and young boy out there. One of the challenges ukuthi uma uthengisa uthatha imali ufake esikhwameni uthenga inkota uyohlala phansi udle and expect ukuthi you're gonna make money. I still walk to do deliveries. I drive to do deliveries. I still catch a cab to go do deliveries. Angiziphoqi ukuthi ngiyodeliver ama-perfume ayi-3 awe-60 rand azonginikeza 180. Then angeke ngize ngidrive. I can still take a walk because the petrol demand, you know. So don't live the extremely high life trying to impress us. We have our own problems. If we want something to impress us, we'll go for entertainment. We can pay for someone to entertain us, you know.
Definitely.
So just be realistic with yourself.
This new lifestyle, like even through my generation, like it's hard to find someone like me. It's hard because they actually following these things of partying, trends, being bored, and all these things, like being busy with married people. And like I don't follow those trends. One, I'm from Davidson. I was taught better and my mom raised me well. Two, I'm a mother. I don't, and she's a girl. I don't want to be an example, a bad example to my daughter. So even being a financial advisor is challenging for me because the brand itself is actually disappointing me. So hopefully I'm going to move to another brand where I can actually be proud of what I'm selling. So even as a director and everything of this podcast, it actually makes me more proud than being a financial advisor. So if I were to even like tell people like and guide people and they wouldn't take me seriously, and especially females, they wouldn't take me seriously in this generation. What do you have to say about that?
You see, there's this thing, monkey see, monkey do, né? And I would always say this, monkey see, monkey do. If you want to change the world, the first person to change it yourself. You know, if you were to see my kids right now, you would see part of me in them because I am all that they see. and I'm always genuine with them. In as much as I'm a good father, I don't motivate them. I talk to them. I don't do the gentle parenting type of thing. They know now. They know when I walk in, everything should be in order. But to say, let us take a stand. We cannot fix what was done by our parents or what has happened already. But you can take charge from now. You know, so let us fix ourselves first. You know, if you fix yourself, you are fixing the entire generation, because of everyone who will be looking up to you. They will know what you stand for. Number one. Secondly, we don't scream the same way. And if you see someone drinking alcohol every day, you must know they are going through something. It's just that is their own way of coping. That is their own coping mechanism. The only thing you can do to them is to remind them who they are, not to judge them. You know, someone said on Facebook, it's a very friend of mine, he's very good linguistic. He said, if you can walk to someone and say, yes, when une low self-esteem, they'll be depressed. You know, because like, low self-esteem. But mongafika umtiti awunika ngiyazinyatha wena. Yes sir, so Japani, mina ngiyazinyatha. Awungazi wena, awungazi, you know. It is that effect.
Yeah, like push them, yeah.
Yeah. So it's to say wonke umuntu unendlela memeza ngayo, you know. So try to be gentle with the next person and try to talk sense, remind them who they are. You know, remind them ukuthi this world wouldn't be complete without you. So now you are robbing us a serious resource. There's a young man I met in my community. He's into Nyaope. He's one of the few we have in Africa who has a master's in IT. Master's in IT. You know, I took him into my house. They were circulating on my Facebook about him last year. You know, try to rehabilitate him. Unfortunately, I failed, but again, I know God will still borrow us that chance again.
Yeah.
So if you understand, this guy has a master's in IT. He passed with 7 distinctions from a Davidson, Davy High School, went to varsity. He was earning more than, actually, maybe it would put my hustler 4 months just in 1 week, you know? That's how he earned. And no, something happened.
Something happened, yeah.
So there's a reason for everything. It could be a stupid reason, but there's a reason. There is never a stupid reason.
There's never,
because of we are wired different. I've seen someone uhlatshwe inaliti bamise esibhedlela and I in a private care. You know, uhlatshwe inaliti uyakhala. And there's someone right now usikwe grandare emsebenzini. Ulimele serious, akanayo imali yo private hospital. Usequeuing njengoba sikhuluma manje in a public hospital akakhali. He's worried on how can I heal fast because I need to go work for my family. So we are going through situations in different ways, you know. But it's to say to someone who's wasting their life right now, it is to say one day uzoba mdala, uzowakhumbula lamalanga udlala ngawo.
Yeah.
You know, the Bible says, do all you can ebusheni bakho for musumdala kusenzeki lokho. You know, and the Bible says, ngale kwethuna akusekho konke lokho. So be wise, be smart, ungayiwaste impilo yakho. Umuntu omusha uzokhula one day, and remember, you cannot defeat what you fail to conquer in your own space. If ever manje uyaphuza, uyadakwa, wenza konke lo kenziwayo, when your children come with that nonsense, you will never ever be able to call them into order.
Yeah.
So you can only defeat what you've conquered. So if I live good now, I can stand firm and tell my kids ukuthi yabo lamanyala ayophelela lapha ayengapha. But if ngiyadakwa ngenza zonke lezi zinto, no matter how strong I am, no matter how much ngingabathusa ngibenzeni, I failed this thing privately. You know, so winning is private, it's not public. What you see public are the fruits of what happens in the private. Yeah.
So when as a man of God, and going through what you went through, do you drink? Have you partied?
Well,
to-tone?
I thank God I was never that kind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe if I had an opportunity, I would have done it. I've never had an opportunity to do that. I'm not that kind of a person. Yeah, but there are wrong things that I've done because one, no matter how holy you are, if you are not saved, then you are a sinner.
What would you say you have done? Have you drank?
Alcohol, no. I've tried smoking as a boy. Sure, it felt good. We did Craving A and Stevie Cent. I think cigarette was still 20 cents then. Yeah, we did that. It got us coughing like nobody's business. It became a fashion. You know, we did Rothmans. I'm not sure if Rothmans still exist. There was this brand called Rothmans, and it even had a Rothmans cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did Rothmans. We tried Van Ryn. Van Ryn was short and a bit thick.
Yeah.
We tried it, and it got nowhere. I think one of the things is that God knew what he was preparing in me. You know, so I've tried. It's going things zamile, saganga, you know, esikolweni, we've been few cases, ishaywe, ukudelela, and all of that, you know.
Yeah.
I was never a saint, you know, I was never a saint. Just that I was not extreme, you know.
Yeah.
But maybe it was extreme, but now I'm trying to talk nice about me. But I've done things that Amajite Kasi does, you know, ngangile, ngihambile ebusuku, you know, there's a lot of wrong things that I was caught in.
It's not that extreme if you even not mentioning weed.
Well, I didn't do weed, but the crew I was in, they did weed. I remember ngangena eskimini ama-YZO. So bringing into ama-YZO nama-dragon, siphatha ama-galstick, isigijimisana. I've done that, you know. Yeah, kuthiwa hey, kuphathe okapu, nami ngifuna ukuyiphatha okapu, ngizomgwaza lo mfana. But then now when I must gwaza the guy, flip. Mina I can't. So we've done those things about go check. Yeah, me so check amajita ngapha. Bekuyimubamba yabo. Yeah, angisho ngasheshe yabo. Mangiyobamba ngiphethe 15 ezinja zami zilapha.
Yo.
Zingigadile. Any other time engifaka kuthi makatho yo engezwa ngeyithini eground. Ene ezinja zami mele zongibhekapha la ezadla phansi. Yo.
It's not always the case vele where yeah.
I wankapa amajita ngeyithini again, but ke ngasurvive that night, and so it was uganga kwami, it was lokho ubuntwana okunormal. I didn't go beyond what is expected. Anyway, my mother would kill me.
Even if you were in the streets?
That woman would kill me.
She would still kill you?
I was scared of her.
She will come find you?
I was scared of her in the street. That woman, to this day, I'm still scared of my mother.
That's why I'm saying she's actually a good woman. She raised you well.
I count my words. Yeah. Yeah, no, but I still count my words. My mother would make you she's not a beggar. And I thank God for that grace, because if it wasn't of her, probably I would have been a mama's boy. You know, I would have been a softie in a way. I think I would have been a spoiled brat.
Yeah, we don't need that.
So me now, when I was coming into who I am, it was painful. I would say every wrong word about her, but me turning back and looking where I come from, I thank God for that. She raised giants. We are 4 boys at home. We are all independent, you know. We are all independent.
So you have older brothers, or are you the oldest?
I'm the oldest.
And how is it like to be the oldest? Nami, I'm the oldest.
I think the one thing I could say, monkey see, monkey do. I'm becoming my mother.
So you're strict on your siblings?
Big time, very. And I'm less on others. On them, I'm very strict, because I always remind them which I will not be around forever. Me coming here, I was giving my younger brother a lecture, third born, because he stays with me. I was telling him, I need to relocate. You know, so I can't relocate because I have him, and when I relocate, I wanna go with him. I even gave an example to him, saying, I once saw a picture of Sisi Ramaphosa. It was said she lives in a house in Meadowlands. It's a 4-room house. It's an old house. And I said, that is true. No matter how rich I am, I'm not going to look after you if you don't do anything about your life. You know? So
I would actually say different. Like, I'm actually like a complete softie for my siblings.
As you grow, you will learn the most important person on earth who's alive today, it's me. I know you're important, but this is me. You know, because of you, it was said I must give the oxygen that I'm breathing on to someone else. I wouldn't even choose my kids. I would still choose myself. I know every parent is saying, I once said that in my sister's house the other time, you see, Ipet, they all ran away. They left their kids with me in the dining room. And when they came back, I said, I mean,
the first thing I'd do is take my child. Like,
well, my gogo, she's 90 plus, 2 years to 100. She just went home day before yesterday. And akasahamba akasenze eziningi. So I took her out. I love her. That woman, she's everything.
Everyone loves their grandmothers, guys.
I wish I can date my grandmother.
Oh my word!
That's how much I love her.
Okay, that's weirder than saying that you would actually date your mother and like, no.
I know my grandmother.
No.
Actually, if I can get a girlfriend like her, but I know it's not like that. It's because she's my grandmother. You know, and I asked her ukuthi manje kwakho njengoba ngasakwazi ukuhamba mengangeni impi manje. But isigijima, what will you do? She thought, just sit down.
It's her time. She's accepted. It's her time.
Down, you know, and that thing, you know, it revived me somehow. You know. So I know I love my family. I'm encouraging them to go back to school. Everything I own is theirs. They know. You know, they don't buy cosmetics. I deal with them. And they have to smell good. They have to look good.
Yeah.
Big time gang. I'll tell them fabric. It's the most. I buy at Dubai. There's a place in Joburg called Dubai.
Yeah.
You see MTN?
Yeah.
There are these big trolleys there.
Yeah.
You see that's Dubai, Baba. So I still buy second-hand clothes. I love fabric. If it's good fabric, I buy it.
Yeah.
Nobody gets to see that, you know. And I take care of them. I look after them, and I can say it boldly. They know, you know.
And it's lasting. Like unlike these things, people are buying our Gucci, and these. I'm also not a fan of these things.
To catch you there, I was saying I still look after them and I love them, but I don't want to leave babysitting them forever. They have to be independent, you know. So yeah, basically it's that. And this is to say to everyone, if you are 20 and you're still home, I think start making move. You need to get out of mama's house.
Definitely.
If you are 30 years and you still live with your mother, let me tell you, you are still a kid. They can still score the two in front of your kids. So I know there's nothing wrong about Uklalekaya.
Yeah.
I lived at home. I think I left home when I was 25. You know, but when I was 16, I was making moves to leave home because when I was 9, I was living in the streets. You know, and when I was 14, I came back home. When I was 16, I was planning my escape. I waited till my matric and I stayed home. My mother was sick. A lot happened. I had to take care of mama. Every time I want to go out, something happened. But up until one morning, I decided I am leaving. When I left, I went to squatter camp. I lived there, worked. I left, rented a house because I didn't live in a squatter camp. So impilo ayiqala nibona khona. I operated Davidson TV eMkhukhwini, you know, and I lived. I made a living. I remember one year, we had nothing in the house with my kids, and I think all I had was R90. So I took that R90 and we went to buy chicken heads. It was first time I was Zola makande inkukhu, and I was disturbed that night. And after I cooked them, I was they are not spoiled, you know, but I love them. And mangiziphaga, you know, tuna was big. I was like, if lower guy, it's a problem. And he was the youngest then, before Mpilo was born. Out of the blue, we started taking these chicken heads. Let me tell you, honey, that was the best moment ever. To this day, they still you know, I think that was one of the moments in my life I cherished and I'll forever cherish. Because we took the situation and made it to work for our best, you know? So I want to say this to every young man, every young girl out there. Phuma ekhaya. Phuma. Ekhaya kumnandi. Phuma. Yabona ekhaya akumnandi. Ngiyazi ukuthi kumnandi masijabule, but phuma uba independent. Yabona the reason why kuneyithele endlini. Akunayithele ukuthi umdala. Asho nomfazi manje. Anguthi indoda wena. So phuma ekhaya.
Hey, I could say like honestly, like I could say it differently. Okay, like I do want to, like I'm not always home. Like Nami, I also like have my places where I have to go to and stuff. But my mom doesn't want me. My mom, she left home when she was 17, like I said. But like with me, when it comes to me, with everything we've been through, my mom doesn't want me to leave. My stepdad doesn't want me to leave.
Let me just
they miss me even if I leave, like I go sleep over or something for a week. Especially if I take my daughter, like they will call me.
And, you know, have you ever noticed which our parents left? My mother left Mozambique when she was 19. She left Mozambique, cross-border to a different country, and she was pregnant. When I was 19, wanting to leave the house, she said no. So if you notice, all of us, our parents left at home when they were still teenagers, but they don't want us to leave. Why? It's because of one thing. They know that when you become independent, you gain power, and you become yourself. So they want to keep you as a kid forever. And when they keep you as a kid forever, when they pass away, they've left a child.
Okay, that's true.
So it's a must for each and every one of us. It's a must to go and be independent. Let me tell you, more independent, uyahluzeka la. Because isinkwa sivela kuwe. Awubuzi noma ubani. I don't ask anyone for bread. I always sure, nithini? Okay, yeah, ngizonenzela. Yeah, ungaphuma endlini eShoprite. Ngizokwenzela i-cash send. Or ngizokwenzela i-wallet. So I know the price of bread. Now I have ways. Sunday akubhaka udombolo. Monday, Tuesday sidla idombolo.
Yeah.
Then Wednesday, Thursday you can buy bread and so you being independent early, it helps you to survive longer. But
I'm sure you even like really hard on your, never mind your siblings, even your children. You must be.
Well, Junior knows. Junior knows. He knows. He must work for everything. Nothing comes from a hand.
At his age.
Sure. You train umntwana, ithi iBhayibheli fundisa umntwana indlela azokhula kube yakhe. There's no proper time for the reason why we see our African brothers succeeding at an early age. They are trained in a military way. And the reason why in South Africa we are different is because of we didn't have war. Like you see this war where we're shooting each other. So in Mozambique, kids are told and taught to ukuthi impi mayingangena manje. I may not be with you. So you will have to survive without me. So kids are raised in a survival mode where they can survive life. That is why they come decide at the age of 11, crossing a border 11, 13, 14, ulaphe molting samatamati. At the age of 17, they have a double cab backing, and at the age of 21, they look down on you. He's right to look down on you. He's bigger than you.
Guys.
Yeah. So basically, it's that. Are we still on time?
Yeah, we're still on time. With what you just said, I've noticed, if you know Umgan.
Yeah, Umgan, yeah.
It only took him 1 year to buy 2 cars, a city golf, a buggy.
Sure.
Then he built a house in Makai.
Listen,
I sometimes I feel like there must be a catch there. Like honestly, okay, maybe it's because I'm spoiled. And I actually spoil my siblings also, I'm not gonna lie. But they're very smart, education wise, and also through independence, they actually know what they're doing. So children actually adapt and learn through different ways. Yes, you can be harsh, and people from your country and stuff, they had to learn the hard way and stuff. But when it comes to the softness of things also, it can also succeed.
Big time.
Even through my little sister, she's 5 years younger than me. She's good in arts.
Sure.
She's well known for her artistic side. She does design at school, and they actually offered her a whole gallery and stuff to show the teachers, and people actually do buy her art and stuff. So I wouldn't even feel bad to say like, okay, I spoiled her and she doesn't want to do anything. The only problem is that her communication is bad.
Okay.
Like she doesn't know how to speak, especially to my mom. I have to speak for her.
Okay.
So every time when I'm not at home, things fall apart because I spoil my family and my daughter. When my daughter comes out, it's going down.
I think there's nothing wrong about indlela esikhulisa ngayo abantwana.
Yeah.
What matters ukuthi can they survive outside us? Ungakwazi ukushiya umntana wakho nomakhelwane namhlanje uphinde ucela next week avume na. That's the thing, and
that's what I actually love about my daughter. Even though I spoil her and she acts the way she acts with me, people will tell me completely different. No, she's a good child. No, there's nothing wrong with her. My mom would tell me, don't come back because this child is going to go mad. She's good right now. You understand? So I think there's good in bad and bad in good. Wouldn't you say?
Sure. Like I'm saying, there's nothing wrong about spoiling your kids. If I say go and get strict, I don't mean my kids, they're scared of me. When I walk at home, they'll just ask me, today there's no laptop. Let us just sit down with you, you know. They'd still, Lungile would still, you know, braid my beard. You know, Mang shave exeni, Juna would come, you know, like I have a baby and, you know, kids relationship. We're very good. They advise me, they tell me what to do, what not. You know, we do like funny stuff. Just that there's this other element that they always call in. You know, to say life, it's not this, it's that.
It's that.
And after all, abantwana, you know, when they are still kids, you control them. There's an age whereby I will never have power over them. They'll do what they decide. And when that time comes, I pray God helps me to remain a good father.
Yeah.
Sure.
Definitely. Because even my stepdad, like, you wouldn't even say, he doesn't say much. He's very quiet. He's there in the corner. He drinks.
Okay.
But my little brother, that's my little brother's father. They don't have a good relationship. They don't communicate. And whenever they communicate, it's a clash, especially between my mom being involved. So what would you say to that when, like, it comes to a relationship between a father and a son through that kind of relationship?
I think one thing that does this one, it's understanding.
Yeah.
When we're walking my grandmother into the house, you know, and she said to me, make sure you cover all the tracks that your mother doesn't see it. And we laughed. And the reason why she said that is because of my grandmother understands my mother.
Yeah.
She knows if my mother would have seen what we have done, she was going to go angry at us.
Okay.
So, the parents, they're more of like I'm a coach. So the father is the head coach, the mother is an assistant coach.
Yeah.
So this is the team. You know, so by as law u goalkeeper, law u striker, law u middle field, law u referee. So once you know your team, then you are in a good space to win. But if you don't know your team, you will take a goalkeeper and strike. And technical lo muntu lo njalo babaphasa ibhola uzolibamba ngezandla bese kuba i-hands bese kuba i-penalty. And lapha epaleni lo muntu omfake lapha akayena ugoalkeeper. Is to say, understand your children. I understand my mother in and out. I know when to walk in a kaya, when to leave. I know what to bring and what not to bring. And that thing has solved me a lot of chaos. So I think if the young man and the father can understand each other and understand terms and conditions. Mangisekhaya angisuumfundisi, mangisekhaya angisiubaba ngumntwana. I still make my mother coffee. You know, my mother still says ngifuna airtime and I'll take money and ngiyoyithenga store and come back.
You wouldn't hesitate.
I wouldn't hesitate. So if we can know the bylaws as bopile everywhere last corner, you would never walk into a church with a short, you know, holding your basketball, you know, pounding it. You wouldn't do that. Even if you'd really love to do that. You can do that during the week, but not on a Sunday. And you can't go to gym wearing a suit.
Wearing a suit, yes.
You know, fagi suit, you squabula, fagi tie, you wouldn't do that. It's because if you understand what must go where, you know. So in short, is to say, if your younger brother can understand, this is my father, and my father, he's like this. He'll never force himself into spaces where he know he'll never be accepted. And if the father can understand, this is my son, unje. So every time I'm him, I'm just gonna, you know, allow him to say his mind and see which ngamsiza kanjani. You know, because in most cases, it's an issue of wanting to prove to each other. So if I want to prove to you that I know more, you'll want to prove to me that you know more. And by so doing, we'll be proving to each other, then we'll be not communicating.
Hey, I don't think my brother will even have the guts to stand up to his father because as quiet as he is, like, he is actually strict. Like, you actually, like me, myself, I have to think about approaching him because he has a lot of respect. He's a man of complete respect. He's young, he's like your age, maybe 2 years older, but he's an old soul, man. You would say that, like, yo, he's a grandfather, he's the kind of grandfather you wouldn't like really mess with while he's sitting down and watching his TV. Like, he would even come and, like, change the TV while you're watching.
You know, abantu aba strict nabantu abasawunda rude, they are the most sweetest people.
He is, like,
they just cannot show it physically, which they love you. When you are not around, they get worried. They don't sleep. You know, they struggle a lot. These are just loving and kind people. And all I can say it is that find a way, find a common ground. There's this saying that says, I know inenhlamba ngaphakathi, but ethi ayikho into encane and ayikho impi engasolveki, ne? If ungibona ukuthi ayikho impi engasolveki and ayikho impi esingeke sikwazi ukuyisolve without udlame, ake kungene umaskito ku-underwear. You'll never go with that, you know. You would never. You just gently so. You'll find a way to deal with it, right? Ayikho inkinga engasolveki. One, and ayikho inkinga engeke singayisolve, and futhi inkinga ayisolve ngodlame. So there is always a solution. The only challenge ukuthi, if someone offers you a solution, you want to tell them, hey, but I think that, man, no, listen to the solution. Go try it. If it doesn't work, we'll try another one.
No, me and him have actually good communication, like to a point where, like, even now, I'm not really scared of speaking to him whenever I have to speak or something, or when he's in a bad mood and stuff. I understand him very well.
Sure.
But Mina, as the eldest daughter, to my siblings, they would say that, like, I'm deputy mother.
Sure.
Which me and my mom would be kind of say, you're not the mother of this house, and stuff like that, you know. And then it comes to the confusion where they also see me as like a male figure, because I can give you advice in so many different perspectives, including the male side, because I'm not a judgmental person when it comes to the male perspective and the female perspective, because we all grew up with our mom. Like, we were all raised, we all come from one place where it's a woman, you understand? But when it comes to even a man, like, there's not a lot of understanding when it comes to a growing man. But seeing my brother as he grows, I try to advise him as much as he can, because his father, like, you know, he's there, but you know.
Our differences, they make us united.
Yeah, definitely.
You know? Yeah, imagine if everyone in this house was a host, then we would have 5 hosts sitting here. Then there would be no camera operator, you know. So our differences, they make us to unite. Just like you do coffee, you add boiled water. So let's say boiled water umalumo hlupayo. You know, and let's say ushukela umama onothando. Let us say coffee ubaba or rude, and let's say ibisi umntana omncane obhayizayo la endlini. When we put this together, then we have coffee. You know, when I say the coffee limnandi, I'm not referring to the coffee powder, but I'm referring to the milk, the sugar, everything. You know, so like when someone says you're beautiful, they mean the strain of the hair that is at the back that they can see. You know, they mean that. Mangiti, you look good. I mean, even this part of the sole of your shoe, you know. So in order for us to be a family, we need to be united. So we need to have our own differences. Some other differences that are not here to diswind us, but they're just here to put us together. You know, my younger brother, Elas Bonasekaya, he's struggling with speech and audiology, you know? He's the center of everything. If someone can walk in and say, Usiabonga this, we all jump. We jump. If we say Usiabonga Kala, we all jump. You know, if someone says Sia this, we all jump. If someone say, oh Mama Wednesday, we all jump. You understand?
Definitely.
So with our differences, Masleli Sort was a sharp, it's part of life, but touch one of us. You will get to see who we are. So these differences, they are not there to kill us. They are just there to strengthen us and to prove that someday. As they are not problems. They are sweetener things, you know. These are just dynamics that usher us into understanding each other. And the fact that as umndeni vele mele kube njalo. You know, and mangithi mele angisho ukuthi mele sixabane, but there's that thing yokuthi hayi abantu banomjwayela kabi, you know. Yeah, most of uyayichaza abantu banoshayiswa imoto gijima uyaqala futhi uye kuye. You know, it's because we are family. So we are not fighting, we are just family. So family is that.
Yeah, you would even say that, like, in life in general, because at the end of the day, all of us, as even a community, where you stay, where you from, and as people as a whole, like, you are family.
Sure.
You have to understand each other, don't judge each other, love each other. So Petros daddy Khoza. What does that daddy come from?
I think in 2006-7, I was performing early route primary school.
Yeah.
So it was a program, Love Life. Love Life was big then. And it was a stage play. So it was awareness, HIV, rape, and yeah. So I raped my daughter in a stage play. So while raping her, she was shouting, "Daddy, Daddy," and it was in a primary school.
Yeah.
So these kids, they thought my name was Daddy. From that day, the entire community started calling me Daddy. I never wanted the name. I was young. I hated the name with all in me. You walk into a public mall and uthola umntana hamba nomama ke. Tata nanku Daddy. Yabo?
Yo.
What? And it was those, English was still a bit rare,
yeah.
And abantwana nje kadeli wakayijwayele kakhulu. So that's how I got the name. It came on and on and on up until now. If I meet someone and they say Petros, then hey, it's like it's not even my name, Umuntu Petros like, hey, shoot yangazi lo. Khona la ngazela khona. Because abantu abaningi say, hey, Daddy, or Mr. Davis on TV, or Mr. K, Yeah, but that's how I got the name, and to this day it's still the famous name. Yeah.
Okay, as a life coach person and a pastor, like, have you heard the news of what happened in Joburg? Like, what do you think about that? Like, okay, there's still not much information of it, right? There's not much, like, what do you think? Like, there's so many stories when it comes to that conspiracies also, like, what exactly do you think
I love the fact that you say there's so much stories. There's my story, there's your story. I listened to this great giant in faith that I love so much. He said his spiritual father said to him, if we were to swim, we were gonna swim 100 miles together and you will fail, and I'll go on. And he said, but you are older than me. He said, this is my story, so I'm telling my story.
Yeah.
Now what happened in Joburg is explosively. There's a video that shows lo mlilo la ushaya khona. So ipipe lehansi lichumile.
Yeah.
Uyangithola? That was not an earthquake. If it was an earthquake, ama-building aba awile, So kushayeke lama pipe lawa. Basically that's what happened. There is a video ebonisayo makuchuma umlilo, then, yeah. And to say these things have been happening before you and I were born. The only difference today is watching the TikTok. So news spread faster than
social media. I'm sure, like, it's more. It makes you wonder.
Social media will just scare you. When we grew up, about Makanda, people died in 96.
Yeah.
Then there was this incident, I still remember it. The IFP people came out of a hostel. They went to Davidson train station. They opened fire. 40-something people were killed that day.
Yeah.
But the story and up as I figure into other areas. They got the story, I think, 2-3 months later.
Imagine.
So social media makes news travel fast. If someone dies in the UK, we'll know now through the power of internet. And people, they love, you see, one thing that is happening today, everyone wants in Damazivele. If someone were to die here, I would want to be the first one to say rest in peace. Before even the family comes, before even the medical team come and declare that person dead. So abantu bafuna ba entertain, abantu they wanna live in the social space as if they are smarter than any other person,
But did you see how they were all over that street, like after the explosion? Like, people would run, but they would still come to the place where, like, that road could have even collapsed. Like,
remember the
they
incident?
say it's possible that it's not an earthquake. We have established that, but like, this people even who did, remember in the previous episode I was saying, like, people even did photo shoots.
There's the story of Salastier, the car at Boxburg.
Yeah.
The
explosion.
Yeah. It's crazy ukuthi the driver alerted everyone. There was this small yana car bela. The driver went to that lady, honey, leave. This thing ingoes.
Yeah.
The lady insisted to funa. You know why? She wanted to take pictures. She
Yeah.
to be the first one.
Social media.
The guy went to police station. A police station group from Boxburg to inform the police. Bafonela the tactical team yabo. They went batshela abantu abasezindlini. There's something that's happening. We don't know how it will last. Chances are it might result in this. You know who killed people? The lady wemoto encane. start imoto, spark it. If that lady didn't do that, people would have been saved. So as you say, sometimes we get ourselves into trouble because we don't want to take instructions.
So how do you think the explosion in Joburg started?
Well, there's nothing, akunamuntu uqale anything.
Yeah.
Ipipe lakudala elivele lazibhomela basazositshela ukuthi kwenzakaleni, but ipipe elivele labhoma kalona indawo phela.
Man, the whole street, like people were still standing on the cracks, even guys. Like you could see the sewage even while you standing on there, like.
So if bephinda futhi yashaya, kusho ukuthi ke labantu abayelapha ngaye bafile. And now the blame was gonna be on umbuso, abakho into eyicinile, abenzini. You take instruction and leave. You don't have to be present in everything. You know, you can't. When masila ukhona, masila, you can't be present in everything. Take instruction and leave.
I mean, I would be gone, Vel. You won't even see me on social media. You won't even like disasters like this. Like no. How many minutes, producer, I still have left?
It's taken a lot, guys.
I've taken a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's 1 hour date.
What I wanted to ask is that as you are a pastor and stuff,
sure.
Apparently, I think it was the last episode. Let's just say that this new kind of general music, hip hop and stuff. There is this guy called Kanye West.
Sure.
Apparently, he invented
a Bible, his own Bible, and Yeezy or something.
What can you tell to the youth that listen to him and others that still want to listen to him about what I want to say exactly is that should we still follow him as us, as Christian, who generator, who creative Bible like music, or we should just
I think if my take on that would be, I wouldn't decide for you what to do, what not. But if Kanye West still needs God to be alive, then he's not God. If Kanye
I don't think Kanye West is actually making himself a god, because there's a lot that's happening in America. Let's be honest. Even Brazil had its own thing going on. So he was basically trying to take himself out of a place where he's being controlled.
Okay.
Through sin.
Him being controlled through sin doesn't make him to rewrite the Bible.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's an excuse or anything. Maybe it's a mental problem. Maybe it's not. He was just trying to make an example of guys like you need to. But he should have stuck to music, like, you know, the choir and everything, like changing his name and stuff. Okay, it's normal for the brand and the markets and stuff. And the Bible, I don't think people really read the Bible in America. That's why he did that.
Well,
I'm not saying that, I'm not justifying anything. I'm not disagreeing to the fact that it was wrong for him to do that. I'm just saying that he was just trying to push the Christian agenda, because he even lost his mom through this whole conspiracy of Illuminatis and stuff like that. So
my argument will still be, uma Kanye West usadinga uNkulunkulu ukuthi aphile, then Kanye West, he's nothing. Uma Kanye West makashona sizomngcwaba aphinda angavuki, then uKanye, he's not compared even to Jesus. So what he has done, maybe it's an American thing abavumelane ngayo, angazi, or it is what it is.
It is what
but
it
mina
is.
engikwaziyo esimkhonzayo omunye yilo wadala izulu nomhlaba. In the previous podcast, they asked me the very same question, and they said to me, what if Jesus doesn't exist? And I said, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
One thing I know, it is that I submit myself to the power that created the heavens and the earth. The power that is the source of my life. You know, the power that created that is the power that I'm submitting myself unto, not any other power. So if you understand that, then you will be able to gauge, should I listen to this? Should I follow this one or what? The most book, I know I've written a good book, but the best book out of all these books, it's the Bible.
It's the Bible.
You know why? still in this book, I still refer to the Bible.
Yeah.
You know, so basically it's there. So there's one God. There could be only one God between men and God. You know, so it's there's one mediator between men and God. It's Jesus. That's my take, and I have seen him. He has done things for me. It is by his grace that I'm here. So I submit myself unto him fully. So these other things, we may entertain them, and they're at our exposure and they pop up on our socials and all of that, but they are meaningless. They are worthless. They have no power. They are just things to disturb us. It's the enemy playing tricks in our minds. You know, he's trying to manipulate us. He won't. You know, we are saved, blood washed, and our names are written in the archives of those who are going in heaven. Yeah.
Beautiful, guys. Like, that's basically the whole motto, the whole motive. We are on another level. We're taking it on another step on Exposure, our podcast. We have Petros Koza, Daddy. He's been through a lot. He has his tears all over his brand, his marketing, his perfume, his book, religious churches. He's a pastor. We can actually mention everything about him. I'm so honored to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're even making me nervous. Yes, Mr.
I only have around, I think, only 4 questions.
Sure.
To ask. For someone who was homeless
at a young age. Yeah.
What advice would you give to parents who still have a chance to bring back their children home?
Engingakusho ukuthi abazali bangasuki ebuzalini babo. Yeah. The enemy has a tendency of playing games so that you may loosen up the grip and lose your position. The Bible says when the anger of the rulers, you know, goes high, don't leave your post. Regardless of what happens, remain a parent and ungathuswa ukuthi umntana uzothini. Iba umzali. As long as you are genuine, yeah, as long as you are genuine, remain there. Umntana uzobuya ekhaya. Remain a parent. I know a lot of kids whom when they were asked in prison, they said, I blame my mother, I blame my parents.
Yeah.
Don't be too soft. Don't be too hard. Remain the parent that you are.
Yeah.
And what to that one person who ever told you that you will never succeed, you'll never be able to do what you're doing today?
Yeah.
What would you like to say to them?
I talk about that in the book.
Yeah, self-love.
There are people who, okay, if you have to cut and roll, tell me. Okay. There are people who did that to me, and these are great people who are bigger than me. I talk about that in the book. Lalela. On my way here, I posted something on my status by Tilly Jakes that says, God sent me to tell you that the greatest revenge is look good and do good.
Do good, yes.
Lalela. The Bible says, ne? I'll forever refer to the Bible. It's the best book I know.
It's best, yes.
Listen, no eye has seen. Ne? No eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has perceived what God is going to do for us.
Exactly.
So not even a prophet of God can come and say, I see a car. That's a lie. No mind has seen what God is going to do for you.
Yes.
So we are bigger than we think because we know that our Creator, He can do things more than. So to everyone who has ever looked down on you, don't be bitter at them. Because when you become bitter at them, you are holding yourself.
You're holding yourself.
Set them free. Let them come check you next year this time.
Be like, yeah, it's fine. Like, yeah, I know, it's fine.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, one last question. This is the last one.
Sure.
What would your one question be if you had the chance to meet the legendary John Gunn?
The question that I would ask, well, I've met him before, but yeah, now because of this, if I were to ask him one question, the consistency during apartheid. We have the freedom now. We can do all these things. The consistency and the persistence during apartheid. How did he did it? Because he did Caesar Banzi's Dead, you know, by Adolf Gad, a play written by a white guy. he's a black guy on stage. And during that time, whites and blacks were never allowed to mix.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did he do that? There's a play where he was supposed to kiss a black girl, and when a white girl in a play, he did that. Half of the people left because of they were white. Right, even after that, how did he kept on? That would be the question.
Well, there you have it, guys. If you have any questions or anything, please also comment on the YouTube below. And anything else?
Where can people get your
merchandise? I was gonna get there.
Okay.
Where can they find you on your socials? Where can they actually even order your stuff online or everything?
Across all social media platforms, it's at Petros Koza. I think I'm using one picture across all of them. It's only Instagram. I mean, TikTok, that is different, but you can still see me. And the book at the moment, Nama Perfume, ungazithola kimi ku-073 8922 943. But the book yatholakala Lifestyle Books, Lakeside Mall, HQ 200. Then there are agents who are selling books, like your personal agents, people who have trained themselves to be agents in selling books. You can get the book through them. They are available. Just give me a call, tell me where you are. I'll locate you to someone who's in that area who's selling books that you can buy from. But I still also use Pexi and the Career Guide to send the book everywhere. Tell you what, there are people in overseas who order the book. So it's a very good book. I must say it's a good read. Once you have it, you'll never put it down. It's a book that you would want to read to your friend. I gave it to my mother-in-law, and I was told she started calling and reading the book too. So, and also I don't doubt God with this book. It's not me, it's him. Okay. I love a lot of things. He made me stop I was shooting a movie. I stopped to work on this book, and I stopped a lot of projects for me to do this book. And when it finally came, I didn't believe. I'm still shocked. I still read it every day. I love it. I think I'm going to write more books, but this one
is your
different.
baby.
Sure.
Well, there you have it. So as you can see, Petros Koza, you can find him on every social platform as Petros Koza. He said his image is the same except for TikTok. Kindly, if you're new, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell button for us. And also, please, if you part of the whole exposure show, share in many platforms also. And we also have merch, CMR. We are sponsored by CMR. And we also have the Exposure Hour merch. I even have the tracksuit on, even though it's not the same as the last time. I'm just dabbling there. And please follow us on every social platform as Exposure Hour. We're on plenty, right, producer? We're on TikTok, we're on, or never mind YouTube, we're on Instagram, Facebook. You'll even find me also as Jessie Godessa on Facebook and Instagram. Don't find me on Twitter.
Okay, you can also get us on Spotify.
Awesome.
We're also on Spotify.
Bingo.
Great. We're on Spotify, we're on iTunes. Please, also we are sponsored by HGM. Hey, that woman is going to love me because I keep on remembering. When
it's not my fault.
Okay, guys, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, hit the comment and please enjoy the show as we go.
Any motivation that you want to give to
your motivation? What?
I think maybe all I could say is that education is the key to success. Education is the key. Imfundo is key. Doors are opportunities. So in order for you to unlock these doors, these opportunities, you need the key. Go to school, get the key, come back, unlock these doors. Even if an opportunity can be presented, the door, if you don't have the key, you'll never enter. Asambeni siyofunda. Tuto kilisedi. That's all I can say.
Thank you. Sure. That's what's up. And this is the end of our episode and our podcast. No, not our podcast. Never. You always see me in every episode. So thank you. Peace out.